Doing good, doing good. Hope everyone had an amazing weekend. Hope you had a good Mother's Day yesterday if you're celebrating here in the U.S. or anywhere in the country, anywhere else in the country. Hope you had an amazing time. Hope you have a great weekend and are ready to take on the markets this week. So, I think we're gonna have an interesting week. SPY is down 1.8, almost 2 right now. Nasdaq's also down as well. So I think we're in for some good volatility this week. Overall, our gap risk list majority is down. Norm, I'm sure you see this here as well. We've got a pretty red day
Yeah, the whole
today.
thing.
Yeah. So,
Yep, it is. It's nasty and just got nastier in the last 15 or 20 minutes too.
yeah, I'm noticing that. I stepped away, it came back. I'm like, wow, we're down like 1.4, 1.3. Now it just keeps dropping. So that's gonna be interesting to see how that develops. As we know, when we have these type of moves in the market, a lot of stocks tend to move with the market, giving us a lot of volatility. The one negative, right? If there's a negative on this, is that it's hard to tell which stocks are in play on by themselves and which ones are actually moving with the market, right? Because look at this list. Obviously,
Yeah.
there's a lot on here. I guarantee you, some of these, AMD, Nvidia, Amazon, Tesla, maybe Lyft are probably moving with the market. Apple for sure. So again, it's kind of difficult to find stocks that are not moving with the market. But if the market is moving in one direction and pulling everything that way, you can still find good opportunities, right? So there's nothing wrong with that. All right, folks. So let's get right into it. Let's see what we have today. We have quite a bit. I'm gonna start with the bottom. I'm gonna start with the negative 10 down here. JM. Let's get this list here. Here we go. JMIA. So let's start with this one. This one's down 9.2, 206,000 shares traded so far. Here we go. Daily chart is interesting. The recent IPO, as we know, this opened up mid-April. So again, had a nice pop here. Did kind of a double top on the daily, and now it's coming back down to this 1813 level we have from 2 days ago, from last trading day. So this could be a good area of support, as we can see down here. Here we go. Could be a good area of support. But again, this is dropping. So daily chart looks nice. Let's see what the pre-market action looks like at the moment. Has some volume. Pre-market action looks okay. Again, a bit early. Usually Mondays we start a little earlier because we don't have the stocks. We don't have the top place review as we do every morning for the day before. So again, just a little early, but it does look interesting. Talking about play reviews, did you guys see that game last night, Toronto? I mean, that was insane. Never seen anything like that. If you haven't seen that, if you're not a basketball fan or a sports fan, the way that game ended, look it up. Toronto versus Sixers, Game 7. Unbelievable. All right, so here it is. Snap is down 4.7, 193,000 shares traded so far. I do like the daily chart. Again, just kind of losing these levels. The problem with Snap, it can tend to be very choppy, and also I do not have shares for short today. Pre-market action not looking too great. Will be one that we probably will remove today. Here's MU. MU I'm going to watch because when the market is moving like this, the MUs, the AMDs, the NVIDIA, the Intel, those are good to watch. Those are good stocks to trade when the market seems to be wanting to head in one direction. So here's MU. We have down 4%, 143,000 shares traded so far. Daily chart looks interesting. We have a possible support level coming up in this area, so we'll look at that as well. Next, we have Baba. I'm not going to watch because it's going to be good as well. It's going to be similar to MU, to Apple, JD. So I'd rather probably watch JD. But same situation. We're going to have a lot of these today where, again, just because the markets are down. So I'm going to not look at Baba. Apple, I'm going to take a look at. Let's see what we have here. Again, everything much looking the same as well here, down 3.7. Quite more volume, 618,000 shares traded. This is why Baba is, Apple is clean because it's got a good clean pre-market action. Now you can see that. I'm sure you're going to be all over this today on Apple.
Oh yeah.
So that's going to be nice. It's got some good levels down here. We got this 184, 184.80. We also have probably another level right in here. We got several days consolidating. We'll look at that in a second. Next, we have JD. JD down as well, 3.2. A little bit crazier daily chart. But this is the one, again, it gapped up nicely on Friday, right? Has some good earnings. And look at it, just gave it all back that same day, basically. And now, obviously, down with the market 3.4. So JD will be interesting to watch. I'm going to definitely keep this one on my list. Next, we have Lyft. I might not watch this one. The reason for it because, well, one, I don't have shares for sure off the top. And I think there's others. This doesn't trade as clean. There's other stocks today, like a JD or MU, that might have a cleaner day. So might not watch this one. But look at this. Lyft, again, down 3% now and leaving These levels has been trying to find the bottom. It held its 56.70 for some time, right? Tested it several times and then eventually couldn't hold it last week. Cracked here, and it has just been struggling. I'm sure the market's not helping its cause. So Lyft, but I'm not gonna watch Lyft. I don't have shares for short. In a day like today where we have so many we can pick from, I want to pick one that we can play both ways. Next, what do we have here? JD, we looked at.
I'm curious, Carlos. While you're on Lyft, do you have shares for short on Uber?
Oh yeah, let's see what Uber's doing. See what's happening there. No, I do not.
Uber's down 6% this morning. IB has 500,000 shares available.
Yeah.
39.15 is its current price, but it's been down as low as 38.25 this morning. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, I'm seeing this is definitely down quite a bit. Wow. Yeah, this will be interesting to watch, especially if you have shares for short. I would definitely throw this on your list. The reason why it's not coming on our list here, guys, is because probably all the information is probably not populated yet. Yeah, that's what it is. So we still don't have all the ATRs and triggers to make it come up on this list. But Uber is in play today. Look at the volume: 2.5 million shares traded, down 6.1. I'm gonna throw it on here because it is in play. We'll find some levels for it. This one is a good one today. Next we have Tesla. Let's look at Tesla. Down 3%. Pretty much, again, what all the other stocks are doing. But I'd rather watch Apple. I think it trades better for sure. Has more volume. And the price is slightly lower than Tesla. So I'd rather watch Apple if I'm going to watch a stock this high. So I'm going to remove Tesla. But Tesla is one that if you like the style of that stock and you like that price point, that's one that you can watch today as well. Amazon, we know, guys, again, this one is down also probably with the market, I'm sure. Not much volume, but again, just way too expensive, so I won't watch this one. NVIDIA, I'm sure, is going to be good today. Actually, NVIDIA has probably one of the choppiest pre-market action right now compared to like Apple.
That's pretty typical pre-market for NVIDIA.
Yeah, right? Okay. Yeah, so again, it's a little choppier, but as Norm says, pretty typical for NVIDIA. So we'll keep it on here. Again, just kind of similar to what everything is doing this morning. Next, we have INTC. INTC on here. Really choppy pre-market action. But I want to watch INTC. I think depending on what the market does, a lot of these stocks are just going to wait and follow. So let's watch that one. Also, INTC. Roku is going to be good. Roku had a huge pop last week. Look at this here. So again, huge day was that? That was on Thursday, I believe. And now it's just kind of giving some back, could be because of the market, but this could be good to watch. I think we can get something out of it today. But right now the volume is very low. Only 102,000 shares traded so far, down 3.3. Let's see if the volume develops. If not, we can watch something else. And now is when it starts getting crazy. As you can see, this list is starting to get bigger. Now more stocks are coming into this over 2%, slightly over 100,000 shares, and you're going to get all these stocks that are just coming up here, filling up this gappers list. Why is this all highlighted? All right. Okay, here we go. All right, so we got Microsoft. We also have INTC. I put that on there. BBL. I'm not sure which one's this one. No pre-market action. Has 322,000 shares. It's down 2.1. Not a great
it's a foreign stock, and that's BHC billing. It's not fun to trade.
Yeah, I'm looking at this daily now. This is not something you want to watch on any day. So let's get rid of that. Bank of America is on here. My issue with Bank of America is it trades funky and also doesn't move much. Doesn't have a lot of volume today, and at least not a good pre-market action. So I'm not going to watch Bank of America this morning. All right, guys, so let's look at quickly at our NASDAQ active, NASDAQ gains. Let's see what we have going on here. See if we can find something that's clearly moving on its own. Off the top, everything in here is just NASDAQ ETFs, the volatility index, AMD. Yeah, let's look at AMD. That has not popped up into the scanners yet. But why is AMD not on there? No, it is. I missed it. It was on there.
It is, yeah.
I missed it. So down 2.6. Look at the volume. 1 million shares traded. Choppy pre-market action, but that's all right. I think we're gonna just wait see what the market does. Dropping some more now, down 1.8 at the moment. So AMD is good. I'm gonna watch that one. Apple, we have TURT. TUR, not much going on there. It has some volume, right? 483,000 shares traded. But look at this nasty daily chart. This is a horrible daily chart. You don't want to trade this. And also, for those that might have not seen a block trade, this is one right here. So all the volume is coming in this area here. This is 454,000 shares traded approximately. Again, just a huge block trade. Actually, you can see it right on here. Look at the time in sales. There's your 454,000 shares traded. So this is not a stock that's in play at all. We'll skip that one. CLRB. CLRB looks interesting. It has a nice little pop here. It's trying to hold this 240-ish, 250-ish level. A horrible daily chart. Let me see what the flow is on this 4.4. So very low flow. It has ran up in the past before. You can see here it has several days, 2 days where it ran up nicely here. Not with a lot of volume though. And then on this day it gapped up nicely and then just sold off. So for the low flow team, this is definitely one that looks like it's in play today. You could watch this if you're looking for any type of setup. So CLRB, we'll throw it on here. Next we have TTNP. Not as clean on the pre-market action right now. So compare this one. See how this one's just selling off, right? Had a nice pop and now it's just sold off twice. It looks like it's going to go right back down towards the previous day close. Opposed to the CLRB, this one sold off a bit, but it's kind of finding a level here. The problem with this one, just lost some volume. So more volume needs to come in here to kind of give it a pop. But this next one here, this TTNP, again, just really selling off. Let's put it on here. We'll go back to see if it can hold here. But not really a fan of this one. SESN has some volume, 416,000 shares traded. Horrible daily chart though. Yeah, not a good pre-market action. So even though it has 413,000 shares traded, this is not a stock you want to trade. Most of the volume, 150 sitting right here, and just this pre-market action here is just horrible. So stay away from that. Next we have on the NASDAQ gains, we have XOG. XOG, not much going on there. CLRB we have down here. Let's see if it can hold this 260, 255. CPRX, nothing going on here. We got some actually we have some volume, some activity. Daily chart looks interesting. Looks like we traded in the past. I do have some levels on here. CPRX. All right, so it is a higher flow. We have traded in the past. All right, so it could be somewhat interesting, but the pre-market action is horrible though. This is not a great pre-market action, although it has volume. But it seems to not be moving with the market, so I'm going to throw it on here. I just want to take a look at it later on when we're doing our level, see if anything changes here between now and when we get to it. Let's give it a couple of minutes. CJJD, not much going on. SMSI, nothing happening, no volume. VIIX, not much going on right now. What we have here, SESN, we looked at already. ONTX, this one is no volume at the moment. And not a great daily chart either, so we'll skip this. Riot is on here. Wow, I haven't seen this one in a while. What do we have?
Riot Blockweed.
There you go. They did? That was
Riot Blockweed. They renamed again to
pump their share price. Oh, they renamed. Oh, interesting.
No, I'm just messing with
you. Don't mess with me, man. I believe everything you say. I know your knowledge is
a company changes their name whenever the next hot thing comes out, just to pump their It's like Long Island tea and all that stuff.
No, it's a very smart move. Some people will get caught in that, I guarantee you. All right, so today there has some stuff going on, but not much volume. Only 84, not cracking 100K yet. So we can wait for this one to hit our scanners or so. All right, so that's it in the NASDAQ active, NASDAQ gains. We got quite a bit of a list here. Things keep dropping. SPY's about to crack too. Let's see if it can hold this 282 though. That seems to be the low of Friday. See if it can hold that there, but again, just not looking too strong at the moment. Doesn't mean we want to have a bias, guys. After a few sell-offs like this, you can get an aggressive bounce, so be very careful. All right, so Teva at the moment has some good volume, 647,000 shares traded. We traded Teva in the past. I do have shares for sure, but I like this daily chart though here. Thanks for calling this out, Abby.
That will be interesting.
Yeah, Abby just called this out here. I'm sure probably if someone else did, thank you. But yeah, this is interesting. It's got a nice daily chart. It couldn't hold this level. It tested it several times, a couple of months ago in December, back in December. Then here again, all of April, really testing that level and bouncing back. And now tested it one more time a couple of days ago, and now it just couldn't hold. I'm sure with the market selling off, it helped that there as well. Do they have any news
Well,
out
and
or?
yeah, there was a hit piece on him on see it on 60 Minutes last night.
That ain't good. All right, so yeah, so Teva is interesting. I like Teva. I'm gonna put this on here. It's definitely moving on its own today. All right, guys, we got a very huge list. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go through these first and get rid of some, and then I'm gonna get to see what you guys have, just to make room here, because I'm sure some stuff I'm not going to watch off this list. So we'll do things a little bit different today, and we'll get on this list here. So let's start with JMIA. So this one here right now, 231,000 shares traded. I don't have shares for short. It is on short selling restriction. So based on that, I'm going to remove it. I want to watch something that can play both ways. But this one, if you are going to watch this is in a good position right now. You have a very clean support down here at 1813. If you have shares for sure, this could be a nice area of to take profits from, depending on what the market does as well. Let's see what happens at the open. In the pre-market action side, it is actually putting a decent pre-market action. It's decent. It's not great, but compared to everything else, kind of sitting around waiting to see what the market is going to do, this actually looks all right. So, and you got some volume. So I'm going to remove it on my side. Let's look at Snap. Snap is another one that I don't like to trade. I'd rather watch something else. But for those watching it today, especially if you have shares for short, you got some very good levels towards the bottom. Pre-market, well, low of pre-market right now is sitting at 996, right? So mark that down. That's going to be an area you want to have. And you can see how that low of the pre-market it acts as some kind of a resistance throughout all these days that they're consolidating. That 996 is right on there between that. Then below that you have 923, very clean level here. You can see that 923, sorry, acting as resistance, right? Right in here for a couple of days, maybe 7-10 days. Then it comes right back down and tests that, becomes support, and then it takes off from there right back to almost that 996, 998, most likely 10. Most likely 10 is what they're trying to crack here over those couple of days. Then you get the pop, right? So that 923 is going to be interesting. Below that, very clean level all the way down here at 808. I don't think Snap will move that much, but you never know. Anything can happen. So I'll mark that down there. You also have a moving average coming into around that 9-ish area there as well. You could be on the lookout for that. So that's Snap. I definitely am going to watch MU. I know it has a horrible pre-market action right now, but I think MU, as usual, is going to get the volume. I like where the chart is at now. Clean level down here at 36.66. Gonna mark down the low of the pre-market, though right now it's looking pretty dead pre-market action wise, 37.27. And then below that, in case we decide to take a nice dive, a very clean level here at 35.12. See several days using that as support. Resistance here, and then kind of support again in this area. So 35.12 is I like that that level there. So, and then towards the top, I'm not going to add anything because I got the previous day lows from 2 days ago, previous day close, and previous day high. So this is giving me enough levels in here. Adding more in here would just complicate things and make it too congested. Apple looks good. Yeah, I like the way Apple looks today. Let's mark down the low of the pre-market in case we're trying to put in a bounce. Low of the pre-market sitting at 189.41. And then we have this beautiful level down here at 148.80. Again, I don't think we'll drop that much, but all it's going to depend on what the market does and if it drives Apple down today. So that's a very clean level. I highly doubt it's going to drop lower than that, but just in the event that that does take place, I'm not seeing a very clean level down here off these 3 days. So the cleanest level I see here is this one all the way down here, 170.76, because you got a day coming in here and testing that again, and then breaking out of it. But I don't see anything clean in here. But again, below 184, I'll be shocked if Apple drops that much today. All right, so holding this 189.41, let's see what it does. JD, I like JD's daily chart. I like the fact that it sold off all day Friday. Now it's down another 3.9. We got some clean levels in here. We're going to mark the low of the pre-market at 27.05 at the moment. And then that's where the price is at right now. Below that, you have a moving average. Actually, I like this moving average. I'm going to mark down this moving average here at 26.40ish or so. And then below that, you have the low of 2 days ago. Towards the top, plenty of levels, previous day highs and lows for the last 2 trading days. Previous day close is dotted black line here. And then above that, we already have some levels we had from before that still look pretty good. 28.94, 29.73, and 30.48. I don't think we'll be making that move today on JD, but you do have them just in case. Uber, Uber looks great. I'm gonna just mark down the low of the pre-market at the moment, sitting at 28, 38.25, and that's probably the only level you have. So it looks very active this morning. A lot of volume, down 6.8. Uber is definitely in play. I don't have shares for sure, so I'm not going to watch it. But I will look out for a bounce. If it hits my turbo breakup, I will tune into it and see what's going on there. All right. Nvidia. So Nvidia right now, pre-market action, not looking too great, but Norm watches this stock very often, so he's used to the characteristic of how this stock moves, and that's typically normal for Nvidia, right, Norm? So with that said, we can watch this one today. Interesting place right now. If it's holding this level where the price action is at the moment. Below this, let's look for the clean level. So very clean level down here, obviously, right? 145.37. I mean, this doesn't get cleaner than that. Resistance, support, and the bounce. Then once we have that level, you can find a level in this area here. I like this level, 154.86. And the reason for that, you see kind of the little bounce on here, right? You see how it's just testing that 154.86 area. It could be 155. Again, these are an area, they're not exact, but that's definitely a level on there. Now, for me, I'm going to be looking out for this 160. I think if I'm going short here, 160 is where I would like to get to on NVIDIA. Clearly, I'm going to mark that down. That whole dollar could be an area where you can find some support and a possible pullback. All right, next we have INTC. INTC, we have some levels in here, right? I'm just going to remove these and get some fresh ones. So low of the pre-market right now sitting at 44.89. Here we go. Bring this down. All right, 44.89, low of the pre-market. Well, what do we have under this? Yep, here it is. So we have several levels in this area here. Clean one all the way down here, 44.58. I'm also going to mark down this day here. We have a nice little pullback here at 44.42. And I think that's plenty. Just for the heck of it, I'm going to mark this one here, 42.38. So that's plenty here. And look how these levels, right? Look at this 43.58, right? It reacts to it here, very close to that area as well. And then look at this 44.42. You also have several days opening and closing around that area also. So I like these levels to have on the chart. Towards the top, you have plenty. We can mark down the high of the pre-market, sitting at 45.75. So we'll mark that down. Then above that, you have the previous day lows and previous day highs. Also the previous day close. So INTC is good. Roku is interesting. I'm not going to watch Roku right now, but it's going to be interesting to see what it does throughout the day. So this could be a good stock to watch later on in the mid-morning. Low of the pre-market sitting at 79.75. We'll mark that down. Then what do we have down here? We have clean level, obviously, right in here, 74.27. I think this is all-time high. Previous to this, that was the all-time high, right? 74.27.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't need to mark any. There's not going to be anything in between here on the daily or above. Above, you already have several. So that's all I'm going to mark down for Roku. Again, I think Roku is going to be a good one to watch later on this morning and see what it does. Next, we have Microsoft. So Microsoft, let's remove these. So Microsoft tested this area several times, 1, 2, almost 3, and it's bounced from there in the past. So towards the top, you have the previous day highs and lows and previous day close. So I don't think you need to add any more on there. Towards the bottom, usually when you get this little ramp up like this and you don't have, this kind of movement, it's a little more difficult to find levels. But clearly this is one here, this 120.50, clearly a level. Also, I like the fact that you got a moving average coming in this area as well. But look how this level, again, being tested several times on here. So that's good. Finally breaks out of it. That's a long way to go. That's a $4 drop. So I am going to also get something in between here just for me, just to see if I go short on this, I want to have a target I want to get to, right? So it's 122.59. I'm using it based off this one date here. Again, not the best level. The best levels are the ones that get tested several times, like this one here, this 120.50. But I do want to have something that I can target and calculate my risk to reward if I'm going to get in this trade. AMD's daily chart is just so choppy. This is insane. When you have this chop, I mean, where do you find levels, right? I mean, where can you get a level in here? It's just not clean. So I'm not going to add any more on here. I think it's in an area where it's just, again, it's been so choppy over the last couple of days. You have several levels in here. Adding more would just complicate things. And I think we have some of the best levels already on here. Previous day low, right, from Friday, kind of covered this area here. Previous day high from Friday is covering the top. And then you have the low from Thursday covering this bottom here, right? You have a moving average. You can mark that down if you want to get fancy. But I think this is in an area where you have plenty of levels. But I'm still going to watch AMD because I expect AMD to move nicely today if the market picks a direction. CPRX, very choppy. I'm not going to watch this one, guys. Just very choppy. It does have 406,000 shares traded, but just look at the pre-market action. And I'm not familiar with this ticker. Opposed to like an AMD, I'm familiar with it. So even though it's choppy, I can kind of understand, what it's trying to do. Opposed to one that I don't trade often, like a CPRX. So I'm just gonna bypass this one. Teva, I like Teva. Definitely Teva is in play. I like the drop here. High of the pre-market 1345. Low of the pre-market is, what do we have down here? 1293. All right, so let's go back. Let's see what we have if we drop this 1293. All right, so we have several days right over here, 1093, and also we have a consolidation between this area here around 1167. So, all right, plenty of levels on Teva. Teva looks great. I think, again, I don't want to be biased, but man, this looks like it wants to just lose at 1293 and head south. So I like the way Teva's looking now. All right, let's make some room, guys. Let's see what you guys have on your list. Anything that we have not gone over already? Norm, anything that you like on your end this morning?
No, nothing that we haven't already looked at. I've been looking for anything that's green, and I haven't found anything yet.
Well, how about these two low flow stocks over here? Don't want to trade those?
I'll stay away from those, but thank you.
I know. All right, excellent, guys. So yeah, everything pretty red today. I mean, everything is just dropping. The only thing that's green is the VIX at the moment, but everything is looks pretty weak. All right, so what do we have? So Teva we looked at. Yes, Uber we have. Uber is great, guys. Yep, we did some levels there. Teva is definitely in play. I agree. Teva is one that agree with you guys that's in play on its own. I mean, this has a nice drop here. Yeah, this would be fun to watch. Yeah, Baba is in play, guys. I took it off because I'm gonna watch JD opposed to Baba, but Baba is the same thing as JD, Nvidia, Intel. I'm probably gonna remove Microsoft. I really don't like the way Microsoft trades. Actually, I'm not sure if you had any success with Microsoft or Norm, but I personally don't like the way it trades too much.
Yeah, I have. I mean, I've not traded it a ton, but it's traded okay for me when I have. You just have to give it a little bit of a wide stop, like these other high price things.
BA, let's look at BA, see what BA is up to. Oops. There we go. All right, so BA, wow, BA is down 3.4 today, 135,000 shares traded. So this must be, yeah, probably hit our scanners a few ago. All right, so yeah, interesting daily chart as well. But again, this is way too high price for me. I like to stick within that $20 to $80 range, maybe 120 tops. Apple's the only one that I'll watch that's really that high because it trades so clean and the spread is so nice every time. So. Yeah, so we have a low of the pre-market 341.40, and then you have some levels down here in this area. Let's just dig in a bit. Just want to zoom in to see in the bottom what we have. So we're at clean level all the way down here. Obviously, that's a far stretch. In here, you probably could do this one 33.25, right? You got several days consolidating around this area, banging their heads, heading down and coming back up, and also seeing loss of momentum around that area here and also here. So that 333.25 looks good. And then towards the top, you got plenty of highs and lows. High of the pre-market, you can mark that down as well in case it wants to go back up, 350.60. And then you have previous close as well in here. So I think Baba is good today as well. But again, just too much of a, I'm sorry, not Baba, BA. Too much of a high price for me. So I'd rather watch these other ones here. What else, guys? Anything else you guys have? Is a day where there's a lot of stocks in play. Well, not in play. It's a day where a lot of stocks gapping. And this makes it very difficult. I mean, what we have here, 15, 20 stocks. This makes it very difficult to find which ones are actually moving on their own. Teva clearly has, has some activity where it's moving on their own. The rest are really moving with the market is what it seems like. Does not mean that we cannot get something good out of these. We just got to wait what the market does. Maybe it's a day where you wait your 10, 15 minutes, right? Don't feel the pressure to get in a trade just because, right? Our job is to find
Yeah,
opportunities with an edge. Go ahead.
I agree with you completely. I think this open might be extremely volatile this morning.
Agreed.
Um,
Agreed.
you know, I think every day last week was red. At some point, we're going to find a bounce, but, you know, did people look at their 401ks over the weekend or see the news and see that things are dropping and just terrified and get out of everything? It's going to be interesting today. And
Yeah.
Carlos, can you remember a day? You and I have been trading together almost a year now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Can you remember? Can you remember a day that our gappers list was this big without a single green ticker on it?
No, no, I
Yeah,
can't.
I don't either.
I can't. This is the first time that I'm seeing something like this, and not including the low flows again, because those are not our niche. But this is one of those days where, again, you want to be picky, you want to sit back and see what happens. And this is if there's anything negative about a community, right? The community is all positive, but there's something that you have to be careful with is the fear of missing out could build more with a community because you have other people that are going to take trades because they're going to find their opportunity. They'll post and say, hey, I did this, I did that. And that could create some FOMO. You have to work on that, right? So if you're new to the community, that eventually goes away. Be happy that those guys found a trade. Doesn't mean that you now have to be forced to find a trade, right? Because that used to happen to me as well. Like, oh man, I'm sitting here 10 minutes in, I haven't found anything, and some of you guys already, are done for the day. So that could create some FOMO. That's probably the only thing you have to be careful with a community. But we're gonna stress it more often than not. Don't worry about that. Focus on yourself. The community is gonna. Some people are gonna find their opportunities in a day like this. Others are not. You're not here to trade like everybody else. You're here to trade the way you trade, and be focused on your strategy. So be very careful with that, guys. Whether you're in this community or in YouTube in another community, control that fear of missing out. You do not have to trade and force trades if a setup or an indication is not there for you. Very important, especially coming into a Monday.
Yep, you're exactly right. The number one name of this game when you're first starting out is preserve your capital.
That's it. Everyone has a different account size, different risk strategies, different strategies that they like. Today might be the day where they find a good strategy that they play based on this. Today might not be a good day for your strategies, and that's all that matters. All right, folks. So we have a pretty lengthy list here, but I think it could be very choppy. I don't know what to expect. Brian will be on later on in a few minutes, and he'll also give his 2 takes. He has a lot of experience with markets and days like this. So do you, Norm, because you've been trading prior to day trading. You've been watching the markets at least part time, so that gives you some experience as well. All right, guys. So
kind of an interesting week we've got coming up here, though. Interesting week we've got coming up.
Yeah, I agree. So Twitter, guys, Twitter doesn't have the volume right now. But again, it is down 2.6, but it doesn't have the volume like a lot of these other stocks I think are going to be in play today. Not in play, but are going to give you some movement today. Right? I think all these stocks, Apple, JD, Nvidia, INTC, they all look like whatever the market is doing now. But if the market can get some kind of direction, these are all going to have the volume and move in a certain way. Now, this is the day also where you want to keep an eye on the scanners, right? You're going to watch stocks that we normally trade when they are in play. Especially this tech sector, right? We have a lot of that on here. But let's look at the scanners. The scanners might provide something that we might have not looked at that can be moving, in a different direction. Also, the turbo breakup, right? On a day like today, I want to see what's moving up and why. So if the turbo breakup goes off and the markets are selling down, I want to see what is that stock doing and what's the reason for it. So that can provide some opportunities as well. All right, folks, so 9:03 Eastern time. Let's get into some announcement. I know we got a lot of stuff going on. Yesterday, we had a great AMA with Andrew and I. So if you missed that, definitely catch that on our channel. And that was fun. That was fun to get some different questions from the audience. And I'm looking forward to the next one where other moderators would join in, because you learn a lot from these things. I learn every time. Even when we work with Andrew all the time, and even when he comes on and people ask him a question that we probably never thought about, you get that answer and you learn, right? So it's great to be in part of those. Norma, what do we have for this week and also coming up?
This coming Sunday is the Dallas meetup, 5 p.m. Moxie's Uptown. So that should be awesome. And then Andrew and I are going to head to Austin from there the next night, a week from today. 6 p.m. is going to be at North Italia, the Domain in Austin. So come out, see us. You don't have to be a member. Just come introduce yourself and let us introduce ourselves and talk about trading.
Yep.
Jamie, there's a link up above in the alerts. It is next Sunday, the 19th.
Yep.
Yep, Uptown Moxie's in Dallas.
Yep, that should be fun, guys. Don't miss if you're in the area. Take some time out, hang out with the guys and girls, and talk trading and have a drink. All right, great question in here. Since it's gonna be more volatile today, should it be wiser to risk less? Absolutely. That's something that you should definitely do as well. If you don't feel too confident about a trade, first of all, you should consider not taking it. But if you feel that it's not an A setup, because sometimes B setups could turn out really good. They could turn out really good. It's just they're not an A setup, and there's nothing wrong with that. Take less shares. Take less risk on a day like today, where you feel that things could be choppy. We have that intuition based on your experience and other traders' experience and their feedback. Take less shares. I mean, maybe today we go half size at the open, right? We don't go full size. Unless it's an A type setup, we have a good risk to reward. All right, let's go ahead.
One other announcement. So if you're with IB and you use DAS, we have that special data feed that you can get that's a $50 value at no cost. If you there's a link in the alert section up top, but be sure to take advantage of that because a lot of us pay a lot of money for trade ideas, and since our scanners are up all day, it's not something you really have to do. It's not an expense you need to take on as a new trader. You can catch the scanners in the room. But if you're looking for your own stocks in the morning, the float information on there is really fast to get. You can compare it because sometimes, like I used to use FinViz before I had that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they vary a little bit, so it'll give you a different source and some new info.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, let's look at this list one more time. I think I probably have one too many on here. So let's look at MU. So I like MU right now. It's picking up on volume a little bit, just cracking 200,000. Again, daily chart pretty much like the SPY. The SPY is almost getting to that 282 level, which was the low. If we go to the SPY now, what's the low from Friday? Right here, 282. So let's see. It's trying to hold on to this, but it looks like it might be testing that 282. It will be good to see what it does at that area. So MU is good. Apple again, also great as well. Leaving the low of the pre-market, making a new low now. Down. We can actually move this down a bit here. We'll mark this one. 188.80. So that's the new low on Apple. We'll mark that down. So that looks good. I like the pre-market action on Apple. See how clean this is, right? So this is what I like about Apple. It's always clean when it's so active like this. So this is a great clean pre-market action on Apple. JD not as clean, but also again just trying to hold that 2705, just dip below it. I do like the daily chart though, and you're probably thinking, how the hell do you like this daily chart? It's so choppy. Well, I like the fact that it's sold up, it gapped up, and it's just sold off, and it's still down again now. And we have some clean levels, believe it or not. You got some very clean levels right in here. The price is sitting at a level now. We have another level here and one here. So to me, these are very clean levels. If the SPY drops, this can really head down towards this 2638. I'm looking forward to that. Nvidia also, Nvidia actually has got a low here we didn't mark down. Low of the pre-market 163.61. So let's mark that down. Low of the pre-market for Nvidia. This also has a great daily chart. Pre-market action not so clean, but that's normal for the moment. INTC. Horrible pre-market action, but again, I think everything's just chopping around, waiting to see what's going to happen. We do have some clean levels on INTC. I like the price range too. Forward volume 162. I'm going to remove Microsoft. I'm going to take this one off just because I have way too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I'm going to remove Microsoft, and I'll remove one more probably before the open. So AMD again not doing much, pretty crazy price action wise, but it does have 1.3 million shares traded, stuck within this chop here. So let's see if it can break out today. And then TEV is probably one of the ones I'm going to have front and center today. This one is definitely moving on its own. 941,000 shares traded, and it's down 9.3. I mean that's quite a bit. Definitely not moving with the market this morning. It's got some other stuff making this move. These low flows I'm not gonna watch today. On a day like today, I'm just not gonna pay attention to these. I think this will be my list right here. right, guys, one last
And
time.
real quick,
Mhm.
two more announcements. So I believe Brian's doing a swing trade review that last week was the first week from
Yes.
2:30 to 3:30 Eastern here in the room, which is awesome. If you didn't catch the first one, come listen to this. It's really some cool insight, and especially apropos today with what the market's doing. Just he's been trading for a very long time, so to get a feel for what the different sectors are doing and what's going on. And then the one other thing too, if you're watching us on YouTube and you have not ever seen our chat room or been in, if you'd like to try it out, you're more than welcome to. Usually it's $49 for a 2-week trial, but you can use pre-market 24 as the code, pre-market 24, all one word and number together, and get it for half price for 2 weeks.
Yep.
It doesn't renew, so just give it a shot and see what you think.
Yep, exactly. So, a lot going on throughout the day. I mean, a lot of moderators getting on the mic and going through their trades and giving advice and then just kind of going through things. There's a lot going on throughout the day aside from just the pre-market show. Andrew's trading, Norm comes on, Brian comes on, just a lot of activity. All right, guys, so this is what we have. Unless you guys have anything else that we have not looked at that looks amazing, I think this will be my list for right now. And again, this just continues to get bigger. Now we have STM, which I know doesn't trade too well. STM is popping up in our Gapper scanners. We have Facebook is on here as well. So just some new ones are popping up now. So what you could do is, since all of this is most likely moving with the market, for example, let's say you like to trade Facebook, you like the way that trades. Maybe you don't watch AMD and you watch Facebook. You can be picky in that way, but just do not be forced to take a trade today. That's what you don't want to do. So with that said, guys, thank you for joining us on YouTube. Make sure to check that out, that Ask Me Anything with Andrew and I on their channel. And trade safe, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern time.
Take care, guys. Trade safe.